the mayor. Man, you know I be checking my game, clocking my grade, talking shit, swallowing spit. Been doing this since I was ankle low to a centipede, toe about knee high to a flea eye. Hey JB, I'ma do this whole song with my pinky finger in the air, nigga.
Checking my game, clocking my grip, talking shit, swallowing spit, cause
So with JB Frank, aka the Black CNN, baby. I'm New the Mayor, the writer, the rapper, the revolutionary.
I'm JB Frank. I'm representing them gangster geeks, baby. Them nerds with attitude.
Yeah! What up, JB?
I'm good, dude. What's good, man? What's good, man?
Hey, you know me, man. Checking my game, clocking my grip, talking shit, swallowing spit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's us on the intro song. I don't think a lot of them know that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm singing, he's doing his thing, basically talking shit. Y'all don't really get to hear him rap and all that, but yeah, that's us. Show.
Hell yeah. JB, we got a crazy show this week, man. We got a lot to talk about, man.
Yeah, it's been hot on Facebook all week inside of our group, and you know, I'm sure y'all knew that, which is why y'all went in the way y'all did. Much respect, much love for the debate, but we're gonna cover that debate today
On the show, and once and for all, I'm gonna set y'all straight because I'd say we got a heavy show. We got a lot of politics to talk about. We got a lot of Trump to talk about.
Right.
So I'm gonna make sure we set you guys straight on how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. It's a big one. Some new facts emerged over the course of the weekend. New about kind of what's going on in both political arenas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. And we got some crazy stories in Georgia. Mm-hmm. We got some things, interesting things going on in sports. Mm-hmm. The Golden State Warriors.
Right.
We got some really good Netflix and chill picks. Some stuff that you should watch on TV. It's some craziness.
Yeah, pay attention to that rapid fire segment, y'all, because there's a lot that we had to jam in there. A lot of interesting topics. Sports, politics, entertainment news too.
And you know, that's the segment where we do our infamous thumbs up, thumbs down, and you might get a sideways.
Right.
So that's always a fun segment.
Right.
But without wasting any more time, JB, let's get into what the internet on fire this week. Mm-hmm. My Facebook group, I Knew the Man Show with JB Frank, was heated all week behind the presidential primaries, basically. Mm-hmm. Whether it's Sanders versus Trump, or Sanders versus Clinton, or Clinton versus Trump, or even if you threw a sprinkle of Cruz in there, you know, it was heated debate all week long. And we wanted to make that our headline story, is talking about what's going on with the presidential primaries.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, we're responding to you guys. You know, these topics were raised in our Facebook group, New Mayor Show with JB Frank. Again, you know, where you get the Black CNN and you get to participate in the debate. New raised this topic earlier in the week, and it basically set our group on fire. We got a lot of interesting perspectives. I think for the lead story, New, I think we got to touch on the one that I think was most dear and dear to our hearts, and that was this whole thing about, is Bernie or nothing? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And I really want to break that down because a lot of people in the African American community have this affinity for Bernie Sanders, which is fine. I think Bernie's a fine candidate, but the notion that if he doesn't get the Democratic nomination, then they're not going to vote at all, which I think puts us in a precedent where we could be winding up with the Donald Trump White House, and that's unacceptable.
Well,
that's something I'm not going to sit back.
Yeah, and some of the things that have been said have been that, you know, Bernie has a pure agenda and this, that, and the third. And what we'll do later in the show is break down some of the facts behind that, you know.
Absolutely. And dealing with the subject at hand, JB, with what's going on with Bernie and Hillary and Trump and that trifecta and blacks not voting. I want to really get into that and kind of see exactly. Well, let's get your take on that. I'll give my take on it, but I want to get your take on that.
Okay, that's fair. My take on it is, and I'm going to try and state this as concisely as I can. We are at war. We are at war for our survival as a people, and we are actually at war for America as a civilization. America is creeping up on us. There's a reason why North Korea is like, fuck America! We're going to shoot our ballistic missiles to see how far they can go. Because they worried about how far they need to go. Right? And we're worried about putting a warmonger, a man who literally incites riots at his own rallies, in the White House.
Yeah, and it's like, people don't understand that. The thing that drives me crazy is when they say Hillary is just as bad as Trump. I'm like no, not on any level. Trump said if he doesn't get the Republican nomination, that he wants his protesters to riot all over the country. And that's because he's gotten wind of the fact that the Republicans are looking at creating a quote-unquote independent nominee. And Bernie Sanders is also looking at doing that as well. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
But they're in arms, and Trump is like, if they do that, then I want to, we got to have a riot. I'm like, we need to look at what he's saying, his language, the way that he's telling people, if you remove these protesters from the rallies, even if it's violently done, I'll pay your legal fees. That is worse than Hillary. That is worse than Hillary flip-flops on some of the topics. Of course she does.
Right.
I listed her track record as U.S. Senator.
Right.
What she's done for the African-American community. You know what she's done as First Lady. So I anticipate she'll do more of the same. Maybe not more. Maybe she won't make this her agenda. It'll still be something she does when she gets to it. But we're not going to sit here and think like she hasn't done anything. And that's my issue with what I call the uninformed black voter. The Bernie Sanders stand. That's how they respond to things.
Right. And it's tough, and it's tough to sit here and have people just bow out of the fight, right? And I'm going to try and state this as simply as I can. In a situation of a war of attrition, if you are not my friend, you are my enemy.
Absolutely.
And what that means is that your ideals, your concepts, your principles may lead you in another direction. But what you don't understand is that the world has literally divided itself into black and white. And you are trying to fucking find gray. There is no gray. Let's.
Yeah,
we gonna get into this later, dude. I got a lot to say. I'm sorry, y'all.
The total concept behind not voting if your guy doesn't get the nomination. I think it's a terrible way to go, because it's putting us in a situation where it's like they're the kid that got the basketball, and since they can't play, they're taking their ball home. You're not making a stance. You're not making a political statement. You're not doing what's in the best interest of blacks in this country as they think they're doing.
Well, and to go back to the metaphor that you just created, New, and it's a perfect metaphor, and here's the important point. Here's why it's ludicrous. Because the kid who takes his basketball and goes home never ends the game. Never. Like, the kids are always like, forget that punk, man, whatever. Let's go play tag, nigga. Like, whatever. And that's what the government is going to do, because that's what the government has always done when we choose to do that, people. And we can't afford that right now.
You're going to mess around and get us into a situation where Donald Trump is the president. And I'm all for Bernie. I'm all for Hillary in context. I don't love Bernie. I don't love Hillary. There are better options than Trump. My stance is we can't have Trump in the White House. I almost don't care who the other person is because of what I think he's capable of. And I want to take we're going to take a musical break, and we're going to expand on this topic in the Can You Hear Me Now segment. But I mean, it was our biggest story of the week, man. The presidential primaries.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that segue, and it was beautiful, New, because the question of the day for us is real talk, like real talk. Hillary or Trump? Like brass tacks, because that's what it is. If you choose nothing, you are choosing Trump. So our question of the day, the question that comes in the Can You Hear Me Now segment is Hillary or Trump? They go in there and holler at us.
Yeah, because we're looking at it with the way everything is. If you're a Democrat, if you're a liberal, if you're for the black agenda, if it's Hillary or Trump and you choose nothing, then that is a vote for Trump, in my opinion. Now, if you're a racist white person and you don't do anything, then I guess you could say that could be a vote for Hillary or whatever. But I'm saying for us, the people that will watch this show, if you do nothing, then your vote, which would normally go for Hillary or whoever was in that position, your vote doesn't count against Trump, which means that you are allowing Donald Trump to become president of the United States. And we really just can't do that. So, Big Chris, I don't know what else to do right now because I feel like if Tupac was here, he would have something to say about this. He would be doing speeches and songs and riding what's up. So I want to tell Tupac what's going on. Y'all about to let Donald Trump be president, and I'm gonna let Boosie tell him for me. Let's go on to our pick of the day, music pick, first video. Lil Boosie Badass with Nasty Tupac. Tell him we almost let Trump win.
Boosie Badass.
I didn't say that. That's not what it says.
Okay.
And we're back.
It says-
New to Man Show with JB Frank, aka the Black CNN. The revolution will be televised.
It is televised.
You hear it? Alright, JB, it's time for our rapid fire. Thumbs up, thumbs down, or maybe
Lot to talk
segment.
about here. Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
This is crazy because I found out about this story in the barbershop. It's a story here in Atlanta where you have a woman and her boyfriend live together. The woman has a teenage son, like 18, 19. Son lives there. Son is gay. The boyfriend comes out to the living room, sees the son and the son's boyfriend naked on the sofa, you know, whatever, doing whatever they do. And he got upset, offended by it, went to the bathroom, got some scalding hot water, and then dumped it on him. Now, the water was so hot that it literally melted, as you can see, melted that kid's back. Like it looks like, and it was terrible. It was on the news, crying about it. Just, it is crazy, JB. What are your thoughts, man? I already know, but thumbs up, thumbs down.
This is the dude who did that shit, y'all. He's coming back in a second, but thumbs down, thumbs down. This dude is being released from Fulton County Jail on bail very, very soon. He is in Atlanta, and he is the foulest human being in Atlanta. Thumbs down.
I give him a big thumbs down too, JB. I mean, it ain't my thing, but we gotta have tolerance. Just because it's not my thing doesn't mean you can't do it. Just because it's not my thing doesn't mean I get the right to punish you for doing it. I definitely wouldn't want it in my house, but I think
that's a conversation, not a felony.
Exactly. Exactly. So now thumbs down.
Yeah, okay, that's all the time he gets. Moving on. So, Shonda Rhimes, the creator of Scandal, has basically told us how the whole Fitz Olivia thing is going to unfold. She said that they're not going to end up together. This isn't going to be the walk into the sunset thing. Now we know that Fitz and Olivia have had some time together during the show. She's had some time in the White House. He's divorced now. They've done their thing. New thumbs up, thumbs down on Shonda dropping this dime.
Well, I don't really care. I watched the show. I'm not saying I don't care about the show, but them being together, I mean, Kerry Washington bad, so I love seeing her with that little love scene. But it could be with him with Jake or old black guy. They might even get me on that show. I might be the one she wound up with. You know what I'm saying? But I just don't care either way. it's like Sam Diane Cheers. When they finally get together, they usually break them up or show goes off, like Dwayne Wayne and Willie. Very rarely do they get together and the show ends properly with the couple thing. What you think?
I don't watch the show. I haven't watched the show in a long time. Whatever, but I'm not surprised. Whatever. It's fine.
Okay. Speaking of fine, the DJ was fined up at a club, local club. The police came to shut the club down, kick everybody out. The DJ throws on NWA's infamous "Fuck the police, fuck the police," and they got upset. I wonder why. And they arrested him and fined him. They're fine, JB. They fined this DJ for playing "Fuck the Police." And they were shutting down the club. Thumbs up, thumbs down, JB.
This was funny because for me, this one gets a thumbs up across the board. This man was expressing himself. He was essentially protesting what was happening. I think he slick was saying more about what's going on in America than what happened at his club. He felt that kind of way. He played the song, but the police stopped him. They kept it peaceful. They didn't let anything weird happen. So thumbs up across the board because the police could have gone crazy after that, dude. So he did his thing. The police did their thing. Thumbs up.
Yeah, we've seen that happen plenty of times. Unfortunately, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up because in the spirit of hip hop, in the spirit of the culture, that's right there. That's what I would have done. I'm a little older now, so kind of be like, whoa, man, I gotta be careful out there. The police is killing us. You know what I'm saying? But in my day, when I was rapping and I was young and wild and free, like Snoop and Wiz Khalifa said, I would have done the same thing.
Right.
Now, at almost 40, I wouldn't. I'm a little older. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to provoke them.
That's
what I'm saying? But I gotta give it to the youth. It ain't my job to do that no more. It's y'all youngins.
That's fair. Now, Ashanti has been dealing with a stalker for years.
It's not me. I know everybody watching the show like, is it you new? It's not me.
This man has invaded her life. Restraining orders have been filed. He has been arrested. And now he is facing jail time based on a criminal trial that occurred. Now, Ashanti confronted this man in court and basically said, like, this has got to stop. Like, this has got to stop. Nu, what are your thoughts on, that whole confrontation that occurred?
Man, I give it a thumb, baby. I give it a thumbs down.
Oh, God.
All you had to do was call me.
God.
This man
really? See, and this is the problem with being a good producer, y'all. This is the problem with being a good producer. Look at what I did.
Attacking you.
Look at what I set up, y'all. Look at what I set up.
Call me. You know what I'm saying? I disagree. Thumbs down. Leave my baby alone, man. Cut that out. Thumbs down. Leave Ashanti alone.
Hey, Big Chris, I should have picked the courtroom picture, young. I picked too good a picture. This one gets a thumb down for me because Ashanti's people should have taken care of this without her having to be involved. I agree. And yeah, in his craziness, Nu is kind of right. Somebody should have just handled this for him.
Exactly.
Thumbs down, Nu.
Speaking of things that got handled, Derek Fisher, former NBA player, former head coach of the New York Knicks, got into it with Matt Barnes over Matt Barnes' ex-wife, Gloria Govan. Now, they were neighbors when they were teammates. So Derek Fisher knew this. After Matt Barnes and his wife, or ex-wife, become estranged, separated, divorced, Derek Fisher winds up at that family functions. He winds up in the house, they having this luau thing. Matt Barnes' kids call him all upset about it. He drives out there and beats the shit out of Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher ultimately loses his job for being a poor coach. And now he's on Instagram flossing pictures with Matt Barnes' ex-wife. And Matt Barnes had already, I ain't said this since last season, JB, but Matt Barnes put the balls on him. He put the balls on him once. He did it once. And now you on Instagram posting pics. I'm gonna give it a thumbs down, man. I just think that your teammate, your guy, you don't go after this girl. Period. X or whatever. I'm not with that.
This gets a thumbs down in so many. I mean, the only person who even gets a thumbs up in this situation is Matt Barnes, because he was a real dude. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Everybody else in this situation has violated the code. I can't put it no other way. It's a thumbs down for everybody, but Matt Barnes, who put the balls on him like you're supposed to. It is what it is.
Hell yeah, man. And Matt Barnes, I respect it. It's like he like one of our boys. Mm-hmm. It's almost like he my best friend. Mm-hmm. Speaking of best friend, Big Chris, let's go on a Young Thug with his video for best friend. Shout out Shay. What up, best friend?
Mayor Show with you.
Why self a life, bitch?
Come on back.
Welcome back, Little Man Show with JB Frank, aka the Black CNN. The revolution will be televised.
Indeed. And now it's time. It's time for us to really shine the light on some movers and some shakers and some fuck ups and some breakers
and fakers and acres. Bad choice makers. So go ahead and start it off.
We're talking about our Shut Up Stupid Award and our Grind and Shine Award. Our Shut Up Stupid Award today, and you picked this one, so I'm going to have you break it down because Gene Simmons, dog.
Gene Simmons from the band Kiss. He did an interview with Rolling Stone. He's spoken out against hip hop several times, but he also most recently in Rolling Stone kind of spoke out against the culture of hip hop, rap music, saying he wished it would die, he wished it was over, he's tired of it, they don't have any talent, they're not singing, all they're doing is talking, and doesn't see what the big deal is, and he predicted that hip hop, rap altogether would be dead in a moot art form in the next 10 years, that it won't even exist. I'm going to let you respond to that first, JB, before I tear him a new ass. Pause.
Why are you so mad, Gene Simmons? Why are you so upset? Is it because Run DMC didn't sample your weak ass gay bullshit when you were doing it? Because hip hop wasn't really rocking with a fucking rock band who stood around in lipstick and makeup? Is that what the problem is? Because rock and hip hop have had a synergy for decades.
Yeah.
So, like, he is doubly crazy to me for saying this because he just sounds like an absolute fool. Like, he absolutely wins because he's been saying this forever. It's ridiculous, dude.
It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. It's bitter. It's a lot of hatred in that. I'm getting into my Stephen A. mode. I can't believe you had the unmitigated gall to come out of your mouth and say Run DMC, the great Run DMC, did not deserve a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, that alone should earn him the award. And I don't know how people look at music and everything and how they revere the older generations and all that. I revere Run DMC. It's Run fucking DMC. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was 6, 7 years old watching their videos with Aerosmith. Walk this way. I remember that. I remember wanting to be Run, thinking Run from DMC was the coolest person on the planet. I remember thinking that.
Blank.
Just like we all went to our Tupac phase. Tupac was a man, and Biggie was a man, and Jay-Z the man, and T.I. the man, and Lil Wayne the man. Rev Run was the man. Yeah. He's not just the dude for the TV show with Tyrese or the dude with the Rev collar. He was the coolest dude on the planet.
He changed fashion culture. The group changed hip hop culture. He was a mouthpiece for the band that brought hip hop onto mainstream. I don't think you can really deny that.
The
at
first
this
rap
point.
group on MTV.
Like,
so the
you
game
can't deny
changed with Run DMC. That's
Yeah.
when it changed. Now,
Yeah.
They weren't the creators of hip hop.
No, nobody's saying that.
Right,
Nobody's saying
but the
that.
game changed with Run DMC. And so Gene Simmons, because you disrespected the great Run DMC, because you disrespected the culture of hip hop, which is American culture. The American youth culture is hip hop culture.
Thank
and
you.
because you've done this, Gene Simmons, you have now officially won the Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award.
Thank you.
Shut up, stupid.
Shut up. Ridiculous. We got that out of the way.
We got that out of the way. What we got? Let's go to some positive. JB.
Yeah.
Gas.
Yeah.
Grind the Shine Award. If I get,
Yeah, you was getting a little heated.
Yeah,
Let's get you
man.
on a positive
Yeah,
note.
let's
I mean, he insulted hip hop, so I understand
Right.
it.
a great Run DMC.
Oh my goodness. Whatever. Moving on. So, Serena Williams has basically gathered a group of artists, celebrities, movers and shakers, if you will, who all come from the LA County area. And they have put together a fund where they're basically going to fund all the schools that they attended. Now, it's about 50-some schools. Now, they have managed to collect about $12 million for this effort. New. Serena is the figurehead, the spearhead of this whole thing. That's a gas award if I ever heard one. New.
Yeah, man. Definite shout out to Serena Williams. That is an amazing story. I'm very happy that we have good stories like this. We're not always reporting something bad. So she gets the Grind and Shine Award. Serena did her thing. There are $12 million going out to schools attended by 50 different celebrities. And Ashton Kutcher and Sam Jackson are a part of it. And I think it's huge, JB. I think any little bit helps, but $12 million isn't a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
I think it's amazing. Salute to Serena.
Right. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it damn near doubles the Board of Education budget.
Yeah,
It's huge.
And it's not even going nationwide. Shout out
Right.
to Serena and the team
Right.
for doing that. She's doing it in Compton. I want to throw that in there. In
Real
Compton.
talk. Well, that's where she
She's
grew
gonna
up.
get there. Exactly. So gas, grind and shine, Serena. I'm
No doubt
loving it.
about it. No doubt about it.
Sports, JB. We definitely got to talk about sports. The Warriors are now 62-7 after a great run. They ended last night in San Antonio at the hands of the Spurs. I thought they were going to pull it out. They didn't. But I still think they need to win about 11 of the last 13 games to break the Bulls record.
Correct.
Well, no, that's not right. Because they're 62.
They're 62-7 now. They
So they
lost
need
the
to win
Spurs.
8 games to win 70. They need to win 9 games to beat the Bulls record. 9 of their remaining 13.
Correct.
I think they'll win 9 of 13. I think they break the record.
Yeah, I think they will too. New. I think they're going to make a statement, right? They are a team that makes statements. Oh, we're all too short, right? Whatever. Watch. That's what they do. I think they're going to do it. I agree with you. It's going to be great.
I remember predicting since they first won the run beginning of the season, and I said they would have the single greatest season in the history of the NBA. Steph as a player, the Warriors as a team, and they're so far. I still feel like I'll be right. Moving along, JB.
Yeah, we got to cover this story, New, because, I mean, prayers have to go up for the Baltimore Ravens and for Trey Walker's family. Unfortunately, he was involved in an incident. He was out riding a dirt bike, got into a horrible accident. They eventually wound up inducing a coma, and he wound up passing away in the hospital. Down in Miami, where his family and everybody lives. Prayers go out. It's a sad story.
Absolutely, man. Rest in peace, Trey Walker. It's a terrible story. This guy's like 23, 24. Like, I couldn't imagine, losing my life. And I'm 39 now. To think that I died at 24, it seems like a waste of life. Like, amazing. Terrible tragedy, amazing tragedy. Something that was very interesting to me is the Ravens' locker history. They've had lockers in succession of players who've had terrible seasons or injury-riddled seasons, from Ray Rice to Ray Lewis to Terrell Suggs, on down the line with these people with season-ending injuries or retiring or whatever. And his locker was next in that succession. Before the season started, he said he didn't worry about it. He wasn't worried about being injured for the season or getting hurt or anything crazy happening. He wasn't concerned with it. And to see how it all unfolded, for the superstitious people, I'm sure it's very alarming. And even for someone like myself who isn't very superstitious, to see the transgression, the way it's transgressed between player to player with these season-ending injuries, terrible things happen, Ray Rice and the beating up his girlfriend, all of that. And the next person in line was Trey Walker, and he dies in a motorcycle accident. Very scary, very spooky, if you will. But prayers up to the Ravens organization and that young man's family.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens have been a team that has been plagued by tragedy, unfortunately. Ray Lewis, Ray Rice, Trey Walker, Ed Reed went down, Terrell Suggs went down for a season on him one time. I think they had once had an offensive lineman actually die during summer camp one year because he was taking those antihistamine jumps before we knew that they sped up your heart rate, and he dropped dead on the field in summer camp. The Ravens have gone through a lot of misery. Prayers go up, and I think that's the reason why they handled it so well. They've got 3 representatives in Miami with the family right now. Like, we're here with you, we're supporting you. This man was a Raven, you know what I'm saying? So much respect to the Baltimore Ravens organization for that.
That's Ozzie Newsome.
Yeah.
Ozzie Newsome wanted that show.
Yeah, much respect.
He looks like us.
Right. Right.
March Madness, shockers, man. March Madness is crazy. I was watching a couple games today. Notre Dame and Stephen, whatever, A. Smith University.
Stephen Austin University. Yeah. I'm always amazed that they get in every year. It's crazy.
But the biggest shockers to me were Yale beating Baylor and Michigan State being knocked out of the Final Four very, very early. That Final Four, the tournament. So those are 2 shockers for me. I'm still rooting on UVA, JB, for UVA, but I guess we'll see how everything plays out.
Yeah, you always get a few shockers, but all the pundits were saying that this was the year of extreme parity in terms of the NCAA. So we were expecting a few of the higher seeds to go down this year, just because things are so crazy. I mean, people are jumping out to the NBA so fast. Like, it's just different now. You know?
There's always been parity, but now it's just ridiculous. It's almost Skip Bayless always says, just close your eyes and point at teams, and you got a better chance than somebody who actually watches basketball. But
it'll be exciting to see Nude, man. Just sneak and grab the little, Slingbox app on your PC or whatever. Try to sneak in a little coverage at work. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. And some of those prices of cable are kind of high. They need to cut it. So Slingbox may need to cut their prices too. But let's go into OT Genesis featuring Young Dolph with "You Need to Cut It." That girl butt is way too big. You need to cut it.
Come back in a minute.
You need to cut it.
Welcome back, New the Man Show with J.B. Frank, aka the Black CNN, baby. The revolution will be televised.
No doubt, no doubt. And here we are. Can you hear me now? We got the Facebook Live up. So y'all tune in to Facebook, our Facebook group, New the Mayor Show with JB Frank. Get on that Facebook Live.
Actually, don't leave the broadcast.
Well, no, I'm saying, on another device. On another device.
You stay right here.
Grab a tablet or something else and do that. yeah. Good look. Yeah. But the question of the day, was, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump at the end of the day. That's what it looks like it's going to be, So what do we think? Hillary or Trump, y'all?
I'm looking at it like if it comes down to Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, then we have to go with Hillary Clinton. It just is what it is. I'm not the biggest Hillary fan, but like I said, we posted her track record as a senator online. We posted what her website and what her agenda is for the African American community if she's elected president. Now, she's been known as a liar, as a flip-flopper. So maybe her agenda going forward, you could question that. But you can't question her track record, JB.
No.
What she's done in the Senate, you can't question that.
Absolutely not. She has always been what I would call a true moderate Democrat. She has always voted in a somewhat liberal direction. And I think that's in line with what black people want a lot of times, given where we are. You can't deny that. You also can't deny this resurgence of the Bernie Sanders movement within the black community, because this is an important question, and we brought it up earlier. The question was, for a lot of black people, if Bernie Sanders doesn't win that nomination, do I vote at all? Which is crazy, because it brings back the whole Bernie thing again. And what we learned in the news is that Bernie's got an idea. Bernie's got a way that he might be able to win.
Absolutely. And, a couple things, JB. First, I think that in looking at Hillary versus Trump, Trump is trying to incite a race riot, which we've said several times on the show. We're going to keep saying it. He's trying to incite a nationwide riot. He literally got on the internet and said that if I don't win this election, there will be riots all over this country. So when you talk about Hillary versus Trump, I want that person out. That person who's supposed to be the leader of the free world to sit in these rallies and say, get those people out of here, and if you hurt them, I'll pay your legal fees. That person cannot be president.
I agree.
That person that goes and says, we're going to build a wall to keep the Mexicans out and make the Mexicans build it, make Mexico build it, that person can't be president.
Yeah.
That person that doesn't
There you
understand
go.
the Constitution at all cannot be president.
That has to be an executive decision.
Yeah,
Yes.
in this period, not Donald Trump. So it doesn't matter who the other candidate is, unless maybe the other candidate was Hitler. And maybe you have a decision to make. But other than that, it just can't be Trump, so it has to be Hillary. But like you were saying earlier, JB, my second point is maybe it's not Hillary and Trump. Maybe it's Hillary, Trump, and Bernie Sanders. Bernie is looking at going into the utilizing the use of the power of the super delegates to help him earn the nomination over Hillary, even if she has the popular vote. And Republicans are coming out now, and saying they're going to do the same thing if Trump wins the popular vote. So now we're looking at a situation where the Republicans are saying it may not just be Trump, we got an ace up our sleeve no matter what happens. And the Democrats are saying, well, the Bernie supporters are saying that if he doesn't get it, maybe they impose the same thing. So it could be tricky. It could be. What are your thoughts on that, JB? Because that could be tricky.
Well, I have two thoughts on it. First, let's be clear. It is an entirely legal process. It is a part of our electoral system. You know what I'm saying? Super delegates are designed to allow for what is considered a higher political consciousness to intervene when the populace kind of goes crazy. I mean, it was built this way. Real talk.
Talk to the people, JB.
Well, I was talking to those people. I was about to switch in a second. What they've done is people like Ted Cruz and some others have said, oh my God, Trump is inciting riots. We're going to talk to our boys. And these guys have an individual vote that goes directly to the bottom line of delegates, directly to picking the nominee. You know what I'm saying? Rather than a collective of popular votes. They're basically saying, we're going to call up our homies and make sure this foolishness doesn't happen. And Bernie is saying the same thing. My question to you, though, New, is between Bernie and Hillary, who do you think actually has more of those homies? You know, I know Bernie's saying it, but
I mean, obviously it's going to be Hillary. I think Bernie is saying that he's not going down without a fight, and I respect it. I love it, and he does. I guess he's within his right to do that. We'll see how that plays itself out. But it looks like now that Hillary will be the front runner. She's the front runner. She'll win the Democratic nom, and Trump will win the Republican nom. And unless all of these scenarios unfold, those will be our two candidates.
Right.
And if it is in fact those two candidates, then you got to go with Hillary. I mean, even if you think that they're friends and they're family and they in cahoots.
Well,
that's
yeah,
all true.
yeah.
You know, whatever.
But
at the end of the day, you still got to go with Hillary.
Right.
And we can't have Trump in office. We
Right.
can't have that guy in office. Look at his face. He look funny. Look at him. He look funny. Can't have him up there.
yeah, I mean, he's crazy. He's doing crazy things. It's scary. It's scary to hear what he's talking about. And we've talked about him on the show several times. We've talked about how he is literally changing the rhetoric within the Republican Party. He's making other Republicans who we didn't think were crazy sound crazy just because they're talking crazy to keep up with him. You know, and that really, really scares me.
And another thing with Trump, I saw this beautiful piece on someone protesting Trump, and I want to say it now. Donald Trump, you don't get to change your rhetoric if you get the nomination. You don't get to all of a sudden be calm and be understanding and be sensitive to our needs and be the kind of president we would want. You don't get to tone it all the way down later on. I remember you telling people that if they attacked the black women in the audience, that you will pay their legal fees. I remember that. I will not forget that when it comes time to vote. I don't care what kind of media training you go through over the next couple months if you get the nomination. I will always remember you saying that if you don't get the nomination, you want there to be a riot all over the United States. You don't get to change that narrative. You will never have the opportunity to change that narrative as long as there's a New Man Show with JB Frank, a.k.a. the Black CNN.
The Black CNN.
You won't get to change that narrative.
The Black CNN. Facts only. We look at past, present, and future. And what we're worried about with Donald Trump is the future, because he said those things and continues to say those things. And you're right, New. Those aren't retractable statements. Those aren't things you can say, oh, well, I was just doing it to whatever. Those aren't political promises. You know what I'm saying? Hillary and Bernie are making political promises. Whatever. You know, this fool is making revolutionary promises.
This fool. This fool. I had a fool like that back in the day. I had to run off on the plug twice when I was like, oh, I gotta get away from you.
Yeah,
that was one of them terrible segues.
I know.
But
it was a good one, though.
Yeah, we're going into Plies with running off on the plug twice. If you're watching us on Facebook, tune into the show. I'll put the link. If you're on Ustream already, enjoy the video. Welcome back, New the Man Show with JB Frank, aka the Black CNN. As you can see, the revolution is televised. Another great show, JB.
Yeah, man. We talked about a lot, man. Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump, what happened in the A, sports, everything. Now it's time to dime them out and let them entertain themselves a little bit.
Yeah, man, you know, we always like to love doctors, give you something to do with your people.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and go with our Netflix and chill segment.
There it is.
You understand?
There it
Netflix
is.
and chill, baby. So basically, it's whatever we've seen on TV the last week or so, and something we want to tell you guys about. So on Netflix and chill, I'm looking at Rev Run and Tyrese's show. It's on OWN, the Oprah Network, and it's called "It's Not You, It's Me." And it's a relationship advice show, and it kind of deals with our how men and women interact with each other and how that relationship goes. Rev 1 speaks from the perspective of what men should be doing, how men should act in these situations. And Tyrese Voices was on our minds now, and they usually have female guest hosts or female guests to kind of bring that female perspective in. It's a good show. I see potential in it though. So I think it'll get better. I think it'll become a great show. But I wanted to let y'all know about it now, that it's still a good show, so you can kind of join in and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a Netflix for Nerds picks this weekend. So I found this show called Hacking the System. Basically what they've done is they got a street magician hosting the show. But he has all of these tips and tricks you can use just to basically kind of slick your way through life a little bit. For example, getting a better seat on a plane for free. How to get better service at a restaurant. How to make a floatable water cooler for the swimming pool, with like $3. Simple stuff like that. Stuff that'll get you through,
Okay.
It's called Hacking the System.
Hacking the System.
On Netflix, yeah.
Oh, it's on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix, yeah.
All right. I might have to check that joint on my damn self.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
It's cool. It's cool. So that's it, man. Winding down last week, winding up next week, dude. Another great show, man.
Hell yeah. Make sure you continue to watch the March Madness tournament. Watch what Golden State is doing in the NBA. See if they break the Bulls record. Watch out for the latest videos we're going to give them to you on the show. So you make sure you check them here. Also look online and YouTube and all that good stuff for the latest videos.
Check our Facebook group too, man, because all of the topics, everything that we talked about today, we talk about inside our Facebook group, and we love to get your opinions. Matter of fact, feel free to call into the show whenever you feel the need, man. 404-901-9247. 404-901-9247. Yeah, the number's right there. It's been there through the whole show. Right there. So, yeah. Right there. Right there.
Right. So,
show Baby Frank.
Yeah, man. As we wind up, about to get up out of here. We talked about politics. We talked about this Donald Trump thing, and we talked about how Tupac would feel about it if he was here. I think that Tupac would definitely be showing his Black Panther roots. He definitely be on his revolutionary stuff. He probably would love to come on the show at the Black CNN. But I also think in these times where it's kind of crazy, and we want to make sure that you guys are feeling good, which is kind of what we talked about last week with the Semicolon Project. I want to make sure that you guys leave with a smile on your face, so we can give you a classic one. This is Tupac. I get around. I know Tupac dance. This is how we do the video. I've been doing that shit in the club. So Newly Man Show with JB Frank. Black CNN. I get around, man. West Side.
God bless.
Where's the Big Pop?
It's the mayor.
Man, I be checking my game, clocking my grade, talking shit, swallowing spit. Been doing this since I was ankle low to a centipede, toe about knee high to a flea eye. Hey JB, I'ma do this whole song with my pinky finger in the air, nigga.
Checking my game, clocking my grip, talking shit,